Welcome back to First Take. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs stunned the defending champion Thunder on the road in Game 7. Oklahoma City had no answer for Wemby, and with San Antonio appearing ahead of schedule and poised to be a force in the West for years to come, the question now becomes, where do the Thunder go from here? So the Thunder have 3 draft picks in 2026. 2 of those are first-round picks, by the way. The 12th pick via the Clippers, the 17th via the 76ers. Since the 2020-2021 season, the Thunder have had the 5th lowest cumulative payroll in the NBA. And so, which team is built to run the West for years to come? Is it the Spurs or the Thunder, Stephen A.?
I'm going to have to say the Spurs for the moment. I reserve the right to change my mind if Sam Presti goes out there and tweaks it by making the deal to get somebody like Giannis. But as presently constructed, considering the fact that Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs have advanced to the NBA Finals and they've learned how to win, at least up to this point, and they knocked off the reigning defending NBA champions at the time, I got to give them the edge because no matter what draft capital you have, there's nobody in the foreseeable future that you can put on the basketball court that is an answer for the 7'5" alien from France. There's nobody that can do that. And so as a result of that reality, I'd have to say it's the San Antonio Spurs for the time being. Again, all bets are off if J-Dub, A.J. Mitchell are still on the team with a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and you go out there and you acquire Giannis without having to give up Hartenstein. If that happens, I think that's a different discussion. But unless that happens, I think that you have to sit up there and say it's the Spurs, not just because of Wemby and his greatness, but because Castle, Harper, Fox, Champagnie, Johnson, and all of these other cats have shown you that they can play around this dude with the chemistry and the camaraderie that they've built. I think you'd have to go with San Antonio for the time being.
Yeah, Stephen A., we are officially in the Victor Wembanyama era of the NBA, and it's ahead of schedule because at 22 years old, we did not think that this team would be ready for the NBA Finals, and they proved us wrong based off the collection of talent. The most important thing that Victor Wembanyama has, it's not that he's 7'5", that he can hit step-back threes, that he's a defensive player of the year. Gilgeous-Alexander in, his back-to-back MVP years than the Spurs, and he manned up and took on that challenge. Dylan Harper, he had some lows, but in the biggest moments, he was competing. His three-point shot looked great. Devin Vassell, key buckets. I mean, you look at this Spurs squad, they're just scratching the surface of their greatness. And you can say the same thing about Victor Wembanyama. And so, yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder, I just watched the Michael Jackson movie. They got to look at that man in the mirror. They got to look at that man in the mirror and figure out how are we going to compete in a West that has Wemby, Jokic, even Rudy Gobert. Because right now they didn't have the answers. I know they weren't 100%, but still Wemby is the biggest problem right now because he's so young and so talented.
Speaking of answers,
remember Harper those lows because he was injured.
Because he was injured, right.
That was strictly within before he got injured, he was great.
A lot of issues.
Go see the movie, Stephen A.
I know. I was going to ask for your review.
I did.
Do that in the break.
Twice.
You went to the premiere, didn't you? Go to the premiere?
You did.
I was at the premiere.
I was at the premiere.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the invite, so I would have remembered.
You know, I was going to say something, but I'll just leave it here because I'm sure we'll revisit this topic. Who has more pressure to win a ring? Is it Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, or is it Wemby and the Spurs? Go ahead, Stephen A. Or Perk. I'm sorry. Perk, go ahead.
Oh, it's big body Brunson and the Knicks. Let's not forget now, Shay, the Knicks haven't been back to this place in how long? They haven't won the championship in what? I think it's, what you say, S.A., 53 years or something like that, over 50 years. And I need big body Brunson to shut the haters up. I need him to go out there and do what they're saying he can't do as a small guard and lead this team to winning the championship. I need Big Body Brunson to go out there and go capture the title of being the greatest Knick ever. See, I believe in the next 3 to 4 years, Wemby is going to continue to be in the NBA Finals. He's going to have an opportunity to win the NBA championship. I can't say the same about big body Brunson. So the sense of urgency has to be there. Think how long it took him, as you know, far as being right now, since he's become a Knick to get to this point. So the pressure is on Jalen Brunson. He has the more veteran squad. His squad has been playing the best basketball. He has a guy he has a Robin and Karl Anthony Towns that's playing at an elite level. He has to go get it done.
For debate purposes, you could easily say Wemby. I'm not going to do that on this show. I'm going to agree with you. But for a myriad of different reasons, Shay and Big Perk, that I want everybody, that the things that Perk didn't bring up. Yeah, there's pressure on the Knicks and Jalen Brunson. You win 11 straight by 262 points, an average of 23.8, and you're flowing. And regardless of the fact that San Antonio and OKC were the two best teams in basketball, and they've got this 7'5" alien from France to deal with, the reality is that everybody's been talking about the Knicks in a way they haven't talked about the Knicks since 1994. Remember, when they went to the finals 27 years ago in 1999, we knew they didn't have a chance. You had to go up against Tim Duncan, Dave Robinson. You didn't have Patrick Ewing. You didn't stand a chance. We all knew this. Okay, so it was a foregone conclusion that the New York Knicks were going to lose, and they ended up losing that series in 5. What I'm telling you about 1994 is that you looked at Houston and you said, this could go either way. What's Ewing going to do against Olajuwon? What's the rest of the crew going to do against Olajuwon's supporting cast? You had those things, and it was up in the air. And, you know, John Starks plays big time in Game 6, but they're not able to close. And then in Game 7, he's struggling, and Pat Riley forgets that he picked up Rolando Blackman mid-season for a reason and forgot and left him on the bench, which is something that Pat Riley, he was able to recover from it because he won championships in Miami. But certainly in New York, we never forgot that. Here's the biggest reason I'm going the Brunson route here. It's not just for Brunson. It's for the entire NBA. It's for the future of the NBA. We could look at, let me say this, let me see Shay and Perk when I say this. This is very, very important that everybody understands the magnitude of what I'm saying. Wemby's not going away. Look at that kid on that podium. I mean, he wants a championship badly. You understand what I'm saying? He comes across as he's willing to die for it. When you see a superstar, you want to hear that. As much of a Knicks fan as I am, and as confident as I'd like to feel in the Knicks, I see him like that, especially after winning. I'm like this, damn. You know, this is not good for the Knicks. It's not good that you got a superstar that wants it that badly. That's Victor Wembanyama. Here's the thing. If Houston gets a point guard with the size that they have, maybe, but we got to see it to believe it. If Oklahoma City, gets Giannis, it's a different conversation. But right now, if the New York Knicks don't beat the San Antonio Spurs, you're going to see a lot of hopelessness pervading throughout the NBA. It's like, how the hell are you going to deal with Wemby? How are we going to deal with Wemby? How are we going to beat this dude? Especially when he's got Castle and Harper's going to be a star in this league, and De'Aaron Fox. He can ball, and Harrison Barnes' experience and the togetherness, the youthfulness that they have, Champagnie and all of these cats, and Johnson and the crew. It's like, damn, they're not going away, right? And you're looking with a ray of hopelessness hovering over you. Imagine if Brunson pulls this off. It's not Vince Carter in his prime. It's not